Bobby Witt is all-encompassing.
On for a two-run home run. Diving catch by Junior. He's done it again.
You've got Babe Ruth, Luke Aaron. You got to put judgment.
See ya into the judges' chambers.
This is the most dangerous hitter we have seen since boxing.
These are the stars of an entire generation.
Caught by Junior.
That's the shortstop of the United States of America right there.
The reason why he's one of the best players in the game, if not the best player in the game. There's only maybe one or two individuals in the game that can do that, and he's one of them.
Oh, that's great. Inside of this historical rivalry, their two biggest superstars have a whole lot of respect for one another.
That's right. Angels just left here, and it was a heavyweight boxing match between Mike Trout and Aaron Judge. And I wouldn't mind seeing Junior step into those shoes as well and get in the ring with him.
And here's the Royals lineup tonight. In game one, Bobby Witt Jr.'s had no trouble with the Yankees, having hit in 19 of 23 career games against New York. And the Royals might be catching the Yankees at a good time. They have lost 7 of their last 9, and the word here was that they should have been swept by the Angels. And now the Royals will get their first look at 25-year-old Cam Schlittler, who made his debut late in last season and then pitched very well in the postseason.
Yeah, the word here as well is Cam Schlittler is the real deal. He really established his confidence in the big playoff game against Boston. He's from Boston, so I think when he pitches here at Yankee Stadium, he is really confident. So let's go over the StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. And listen, it is all about the fastball. The fastball, the fastball, the fastball. With righties, he's going to go four-seam and sinker. With the lefties, and the cutter as well. With the lefties, he's going to go four-seam, sinker, cutter, maybe a curveball every now and then, but today is all about the fastball for the Kansas City Royals. Stay on it early and often.
6'6", 215. First round pick, right? Wrong. Here's our Xfinity player profile. He was a 7th round pick out of Northeastern University in Boston, so he really didn't even come from a baseball powerhouse. He is from Boston, and he made his major league debut after the Royals and Yankees were done with the season series, and then against his childhood team. That bottom line there, that's a major league record for a postseason game. 8 innings, no walks, and 12 or more strikeouts. And now Michael Garcia leading off, who has fond memories of this ballpark, having picked up his first big league hit here. And then he played very well in the playoffs here against the Yankees 2 seasons ago. Fastball's in for a strike.
98 miles an hour. Good day to get the foot down. Good day to just think fast, think hard, pick a direction, but it's going to be fast, heavy velocity.
A little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Michael, who was one of many Royals that put an end to a so-called OFER in the last 2 games of the Tigers series. For Michael, it was putting an end to an 0 for 15 with a hit, an RBI, and a run scored in the Royals' 6-run 7th inning yesterday. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bobby Witt Jr. scored a run. He scored 3 yesterday. He'd gone 15 games without a run. Vinny hit his first home run. Salvi put to bed a long streak without a hit with runners in scoring position. Jack Caglione got his first RBI. Check swing. We'll see what kind of a fielder Schlittler is, and he throws a strike over to Rice for out number 1.
Schlittler's establishing the fastball early. All 4-seam fastballs there to Michael. So let's see the defense behind him. Couple highlights when we go through this outfield is defense as well. Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger on the corners. Everybody knows who those guys are. Trent Grisham. We can maybe sneak a 1st to 3rd on Trent Grisham. We have to be aggressive because he struggles a little bit on ground balls. In the infield, Ben Rice at 1st, Ahmed Rosario at 3rd. Middle of the infield, Jazz, Jose Caballero, and Austin Wells behind the plate. Might be able to get some bags on him as well.
Fastball is high on Junior. So he had gone 15 games without scoring a run, and he scored 3 yesterday. He also had a 3-hit game that included a couple of leadoff doubles. pounded foul. 1 ball, 1 strike at 99 miles an hour.
Man, and I don't know if you saw that, Ryan, but like I did, that ball started on the white line in the left-handed batter's box and ran all the way in on the inside corner at 99 miles an hour.
And that's how you can get away with 91% of some form of a fastball.
Absolutely.
And that was just a reach back and let it fly, and that's 100 miles an hour, 1 and 2.
So then right there, Bobby Witt Jr. sees fastball out of hand starting right in that same spot on the outer half, and now that ball doesn't move, and it's 100 miles an hour. Ryan, have I told you how much I enjoyed being in this booth with you? Wow.
And it's fisted foul. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Right back to the 99 with movement. So by saying pick a side, it's going to be heavy velocity. Is it going to be straight? Is it going to be a sinker? Is it going to be a cutter? That's what you mean with the righties, but you know it's going to be 99, 100 miles an hour or above.
High cutter at 96, and there are 2 down.
Okay, here's a replay, and again, 96-mile-an-hour cutter that moves away from Bobby at the top of the zone. Such a big difference in today's game is pitchers' ability to have 3 fastballs with legitimate movement to each side and that 4-seam fastball at the top of the zone.
In addition to hitting his first home run in the Tigers series, Vinny also snapped an 0 for 20 2 days ago. When you took batting practice here before the game, did you think about right field, or did you try and do your best to ignore right field?
What year are we talking about? Because early on I was trying to launch. I was seeing how high I can hit it up in that right field deck.
2 balls and no strikes.
So again, with Vinny, the left-handed hitters, 4-seam fastball. So you really want to get the head out, the barrel head, and get it out to right field, short porch. Well, if he ever will throw a breaking ball, it's 7% of the time. It's going to be to lefties because of that. Get them out in front, see if they can chase.
Hit hard and right to Chisholm, and even Chisholm was turning his head. Here's the Yankees lineup tonight against Michael Wacha. They are the Bronx Bombers, but not yet. Now, Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge. He's hit 8 home runs this year, but the Yankees really haven't got going offensively with the long ball, but surprisingly, they are second in the American League in stolen bases. And Michael Wacha has been brilliant in his first 3 starts. He has allowed a solo home run this year, and that's it. 1 run over 21 innings. And Grisham lifts it to left field. Lane Thomas is out there tonight, and there's 1 away.
Yankees coming out of the gates aggressive. Grisham first pitch swinging, and this is why. Like you said, Ryan, Michael Wacha only giving up a solo home run. Michael Wacha, as professional as they come, knows himself, knows he's a fastball at the top of the zone with the changeup guy, but he's evolved. He also has a cutter and a sinker that he can throw to both righties and lefties, but be aware of this matchup.
And that's lined to left field. That's going to get by Thomas. Aaron Judge slides into second base with a 1-out double.
Okay, that was a cutter. Double by Aaron Judge. Said be aware of the matchup. 3 for 21 coming in with 11 strikeouts. So Judge wanted to be aggressive down the left field line. That was a double, and Lane Thomas got it in. Kyle Isbell at center field with Jack Caglione. Short porch and right, doesn't have to cover as much ground. Detroit. Left side, strong side. Michael Massey taking over at second base for India. Salvi behind the plate. Vinny at first. The usual suspects.
Strike on Cody Bellinger in a big year last year in his first year with the Yankees before hitting free agency, and then they signed him up for 5 more years. 1 ball, 1 strike. And he's one of several Yankees that's off to a slow start. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Last year, the Yankees led the major leagues in home runs by 31. 31 more than anyone else at 274. That's Aaron Boone in his 9th year as Yankees manager. They've won 94 games the last 2 years.
There's no secret to the Yankees game plan. They for sure play for the 3-run home run. Not as disciplined as Detroit like we just saw, but that certainly is their game plan.
Great changeup. Down goes Bellinger.
When you think of Michael Wacha, you think of this devastating changeup right here. It looks like it's coming from the sky, straight over the top. Oh, is that a fastball? No, and it fools you, falls right down to the low and away quarter. Here we go. Here's the pitch arsenal for Michael Wacha. That was the changeup in green there. Fastball. It's looking really good this year at the top of the zone to play off of that changeup, north-south mix, and east-west as well if he needs a ground ball with the cutter sinker.
Fouled away by Giancarlo Stanton. A little bit high. 1 ball, 1 strike. The remarkable thing about Michael Wacha's changeup is that that's been his trademark pitch ever since he got into the big leagues in 2013. The hitters know it's coming. And as you were going through the pitch breakdown, I was just reminded how often he throws that changeup. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And yet the league this year has done nothing with it.
Well, it really does. When Michael Wacha throws his changeup, it is so hard to pick up because it just seems like the ball stops. Even if you were to sit on it or anticipate it, now Michael Wacha's got the cutter and the sinker if he needs it, not only the fastball at the top of the zone. So, like we always talk about tunneling, that doesn't allow you to just look up and if the ball is chest high or below, not swing. Now he's got weapons to create ground balls, but not allow you to tunnel him as well.
Popped up. Way up there. And Vinny will make the catch. So Wacha works around the 1-out double, and at the end of 1, no score.
Scoreless in the Bronx. Joe Goldberg down by the Royals. Dugout Matt Quatrero describing yesterday's tough loss and the disappointment as being real but expected over a long season. And I think most importantly, as he sits there and chats with Bobby Witt Jr., I asked him what he saw from the body language, the energy of his team coming into work today, and he described it as a normal day despite that loss. Didn't see any type of carryover with his group at all. Very upbeat and ready to come back to work. That's always the key. Pointed to the offensive progress yesterday as something to build on, and then just said that the energy really had been there all series in Detroit, even in the losses, and it was 3 losses. Like the effort, like the guys were picking each other up, like that they're staying engaged. So no issues whatsoever with this team. We'll see now what happens here at Yankee Stadium, guys.
Yeah, and even right there, Joe, I love that conversation that's taking place right there between Q and Bobby Witt Jr. That relationship, the manager, the superstar, even Salvador Perez here, the Capitan, that is very important. Q, Bobby Witt Jr., they got to be in communication. They got to know the theme, how the guys are feeling. And there's certain times where, hey, I need to pick Bobby's brain and say, hey, you know, is this today where we go outside? We haven't been hitting. Should we not take BP outside today? Just understanding the pulse of your ball club. That's why that relationship, Ryan, is very, very important. Manager, superstar.
Fouled away by Salvi. And as much as this season is a grind, I mean, the games just keep coming one after another. If this was football, you'd have to sit on that loss for a week.
You sure would. And
back here tonight, as you said, the bright lights, I mean, that just kind of helps you. You have to flush everything.
With 140 left.
One and 2 on Salvi, who had a great at-bat yesterday. The final result, obviously, was just what the Royals needed, hitting a 3-run home run to cap a 5-run comeback, but it was a 10-pitch at-bat.
What a great at-bat from Salvi. Salvi's giggling, looking up, saying that's the first breaking ball you've thrown all day to a right-hander.
Broke his bat, and a slow roller to Rosario. Salvi running hard up the line. 1 away.
Setting the example. But again, hitting in the big leagues, it is not easy, folks. You've got a pitch that someone throws 1% of the time, the slider, followed by 99 on the hands.
Carter Jensen drove in a couple of runs in the Tigers series. So he gets to experience Yankee Stadium for the first time.
He was putting some balls pretty far up in that right field deck.
All right, so you said when you were young, you were thinking about right field during batting practice. As you got older, did you try to ignore it during batting practice, or how did you prepare yourself?
Maybe dedicated a round to it at the end when I was older, a little more mature approach. But when you come here for the first time as a young player, I mean, you have to at least test it out, just see what we're working with. But then eventually, as an older player, like we always say, Ryan, the early work is for you and your mechanics and getting your rhythm down, and then BP on the field, you start to prepare for the opposing pitcher, who you're facing that night. So I tried to get a little more mature as the years went on, but it is very hard to stay disciplined here in Yankee Stadium batting practice.
That's a swing on appeal to third base umpire Nestor Ceja. And that's Schlittler's second home run. Well, it didn't seem to bother you as a young player. I'll never forget it. A.J. Burnett.
Oh, man. He was one of my heroes growing up. I used to watch him all the time with the Florida Marlins, and one of these moments where blacked out. Ryan, what happened? Look at Young Haas sprinting around those bases.
Do you remember anything outside of the obvious when you were rounding the bases? Is there a memory that's just burned in your brain forever?
Oh, man. I just remember Yankee Stadium being a blur, and I remember looking up at the family section when I was rounding third, seeing all my family going crazy. It felt like they were the only ones in the stadium. But, yeah, Ryan, it's one of those moments where you just feel like you're floating.
That's fouled away. It was so much fun watching your mom because she had her own video camera. We used to joke on the air. We're like, we need to tell her that we have 10 high definition cameras right here, and we'll get her plenty of good shots of all the things that Eric does in his big league career. But nope, she got her little camcorder. Have you ever seen any of your big league games off of that camcorder?
No, that brings up a good point. I should really try and get some of that tape. But so funny. I remember there's a viral clip online of Vinny in Milwaukee telling his mother on deck, Mom, you know, there's professional photographers here. You don't got to take pictures. And I thought the same exact thing, and that takes me back because my mom would videotape all my games from about 10 years old on, and I would always love watching them in the car ride home.
Lane Thomas hits it out into left center field, and Grisham is there. So the Royals go down in order in the second inning. No score. Royal blue and the powder blue really stands out, especially tonight. One of the giveaways is a Yankees hockey jersey, which is white. So there is just, it looks like it has snowed here with all the white in the ballpark. But you got a weekend series, you got New York City, you got the Royals at Yankee Stadium, and there's always a lot of Royals fans here.
Sure is. Even walking around the city, today's got big game feel to it. Friday, Saturday, Sunday in the Bronx. Gotta love it.
That's a swing, and it's 0-2 on Ben Rice, who's gotten off to a good start. Not really a household name now, but he's done some good things for the Yankees.
Been their hottest guy outside of Aaron Judge. It'll be interesting. If he keeps up this pace, he can be a really big asset for the New York Yankees in protecting Aaron Judge in the lineup, but there's no secret in his approach. He wants to pull the ball in the air right field.
There's the changeup, and that's a 3-pitch strikeout for Waka, his second strikeout, and both have been on the change.
And that's the perfect pitch to combat that approach right here. You see fastball out of the hand, and then all of a sudden, boom, falls off the table. Michael Waka pulls the string. It's a big reason why he's been in the big leagues for 10+ years, right? But he has certainly adapted and created more pitches for his arsenal, but that changeup.
Rosario hits it into right center field. Isbell is on it, going onto the track. That ball carried, and there are 2 down.
Sometimes they say don't believe everything you read, Ryan. I tell you what, about a year and a half now of watching Kyle Isbell in center field, he just glides out there. Reminds me so much of a Jackie Bradley Jr. and watching how they just know where the ball's going to end up and just glide to the spot, make it so smooth.
The catch he made yesterday, I mean, he ran a mile to get to that ball. Here's Jazz Chisholm. And not only did he get to it, but as you pointed out when we were looking at the replay, I mean, he's going full speed, and he also knows that wall is approaching, and he knows if he hits that wall wrong, he's going to lose.
That's right, and he knows his momentum is going that way, and if I were to dive or even jump, it's not going to stop my momentum. So what do? Feet first slide. That's going to let me plant my feet in the warning track. And again, we don't have to worry about the wall, maybe kicking the ball out of my glove. Just as professional as they come. Saw him out there early today. This guy does his work. I have a lot of respect for Kyle Isbell.
Jazz Chisholm hits it up the left field line. Thomas will run out of room.
Here's another look. Take a look at the slide at the end. You see one peak, and then you know where the wall is at. That's where Kyle Isbell said, okay, this is how I'm going to have to catch this. This is how I got to break down. I mean, impressive stuff. I know Kyle Isbell and Alex Gordon work out together in the offseason. Alex Gordon does still work out, everybody. Absolutely, yes. And talking to Alex Gordon, man, he loves Izzy, and you can see that same type of grit. But, Ryan, I will not be joining that leg workout, I promise you. Absolutely not. No chance.
3-2 on Jazz Chisholm. Fastball is down and in. Salvi nods as if to say, I agree that was not a strike.
Let's take another look, Ryan. This is a good example of tunneling. Fastball down, but you can see Jazz is saying, I want the ball to start maybe belt high or above, so I'm not swinging. Probably thought that was a changeup out of hand, but zones. He's tunneling zones. Good example of that.
Yeah, that's a good point, because on the surface you could say, well, that was a really good take. Borderline pitch. He's a left-hand hitter. That's the pitch he's looking for.
I remember asking some of the top hitters in baseball, how do you take these two-strike pitches, these off-speed breaking balls that are devastating? How does it happen? And tunneling. You have to zone out of hand. Again, you always hear me say we want to start the ball, or the ball has to start here out of hand so it can end up here. Well, that's that north-south mix. So that fastball down out of hand, you're saying, nope, that's probably the changeup, the one that everyone chases. And then, boom, you freeze them right there. It's a fastball.
Jose Caballero. One ball, two strikes. He was traded over from the Rays last year to be a utility infielder, but he's been playing a lot of shortstop. Anthony Volpe, the Yankees' regular shortstop, is still recovering from offseason left shoulder surgery. And Caballero is down on strikes, and that's another scoreless inning for Michael Wacha. He has struck out 3. Royals gear. Jack Caglione swings at the first pitch he sees at Yankee Stadium. He made his home debut against the Yankees, but the Royals had already come to Yankee Stadium when he made his big league debut in St. Louis. Oh, 2.
Another four-seam at the top of the zone. That four-seam fastball at the top of the zone is very, very hard to barrel up. Not much slug against this fastball at the top of the zone for Schlittler.
How about that company he's keeping? Still no balls, 2 strikes. Most balls put in play at 110 and higher. O'Neal Cruz got those long arms.
He's had a great start to the season.
Got him to chase a curveball down, and that's 3 strikeouts for Schlittler, who now has 33 strikeouts, Haas, against 1 walk this year.
And this is why 12-6 curveball to follow those fastballs at the top of the zone. As a hitter, Jack Caglione says, I got to get it going. I'm late on that fastball. Let's get it going. Let's get it going earlier. And then, boom, it's a 12-6 curveball. It's really good pitching.
No surprise his walks per 9 is the best in the major leagues.
Now, again, Michael Massey coming up. Cam Schlittler says, okay, you're not going to cheat on this fastball. Oh. Now I can dump it in for a strike as well, the curveball.
Massey came out of the game yesterday for Lane Thomas as a pinch hitter against a right-hander, and that was Drew Anderson. Massey fouls it away, so you have Massey up there as a lefty. Tigers bring in a righty, and you figure that's a good matchup for the Royals, but Drew Anderson has the so-called reverse splits, which means he was much better against lefties, much better against lefties than righties. So the Royals countered that with Lane Thomas, who ended up walking and coming around to score. A little bit outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's going to be challenge. No. Wells bumped into the home plate umpire Charlie Ramos. And Massey with a good eye takes a high cutter, and it's a full count.
Those reverse splits, Ryan. Anderson for Detroit, similar to a young Michael Wacha. Fastball, changeup. Not as good of a changeup as Wacha. It doesn't have the sinker and the cutter, but we see the lefty swings that are being taken out Wacha's changeup. So that was a good move to go to the righty.
Slice to left, and Bellinger is right there. 2 down, and here's a message from Minsky's Pizza.
Introducing the 50th anniversary edition Wagyu Prime Cut Gourmet Pizza from Minsky's, made with premium American Wagyu ground beef from Booth Creek Wagyu. Available for a limited time only while supplies last. Order now at Minskys.com.
Kyle Isbell with 2 down, and he chipped in that 6-run inning yesterday with a sacrifice bunt on a tough pitch to bunt. Didn't mean to do it. You'd been saying during the game and even before the game, Wednesday and Tuesday, the Royals just need some bounces to go their way, and they finally had that in that 6-run inning yesterday with a base hit that went off of second base. Bobby Witt Jr. had a check swing hit, and then Kyle Isbell. I don't think you'd advise anyone to try and bunt the pitch that Izzy did yesterday, but he's a really good bunter, and he got it down to the third base side. And the Royals turned all of that into 6 runs. Grisham is there, and the Royals have gone 9 up, 9 down. Sunny, and temperatures were in the low 70s. It's going to slowly cool down. And when the series ends on Sunday afternoon, we're going to be in the mid 50s for a high temperature. Here's Austin Wells, and I'll steal a line from Haas that he used in describing Will Vest.
What's that?
Pay no attention to the numbers. Austin Wells is hitting 191 with 1 home run and 1 RBI because he is a completely different player against the Royals.
He had a great World Baseball Classic as well. So you're right. Still too early, Ryan. Early in the season to really look at numbers and judge guys and teams as well. That's why what we talked about in the pregame with the Royals, no need to panic internally. Let's worry about our game, how we play. Let's worry about ourselves before we get a little deeper into the season.
Inside of those career numbers for Austin Wells, last year he had 2 home runs and 8 RBIs against the Royals. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Interesting you bring up the World Baseball Classic because we were talking with members of the Yankees broadcast team earlier tonight, and a lot of the WBC players are not performing well right now.
Seems to be everybody.
Yeah.
Pitchers, position players. Speaking of, we were talking to the Yankees broadcast, and I bugged out a little bit when Paul O'Neill came up here. I asked him if he was going to do dry hacks in the booth just like he would do during pitching changes in right field. Man, what a legend Paulie is. But again, we mentioned these players, pitchers, position players, off-season, in-season, they're creatures of habit. So I don't know whether or not the World Baseball Classic had something to do with it, but that's an interesting study. A lot of guys getting off to slow starts.
Grounded out to Vinny, and Waka is right there for the out. So first time through, Waka retires 8 of 9. And now Trent Grisham for a second time. Well, I thought you made an excellent point that I hadn't considered when we were doing the spring training games, that you go from spring training into these high intensity games in a very short period of time, and then you go back to spring training and you're in a small venue, and you go from every single pitch matters to Grisham hits it high and deep. That will stay in the ballpark, and Caglione has it. And I won't say spring training pitches aren't important. I'd say they all have a purpose, but not as important as it was during the World Baseball Classic. So you're ramping up, then you ramp down, and then you got to try and ramp up again for the regular season.
Yeah, use Michael Waka for an example. So say this is year 6, 7 in his career, 3, 4, whatever it could be. Say he wants to work on that cutter sinker as weapons for maybe a double play. Oh, Salvi's tapping the helmet.
The call on the field is the ball. The catcher is challenging.
ABS is powered by T-Mobile.
It is a strike. Kansas City has 2 challenges remaining.
Only Salvador Perez could get a big league hitter to laugh at a call being reversed against them.
2 captains going at it.
High heat, no balls, 2 strikes.
El Capitan and the captain, so to speak. But yeah, with Michael Waka, say he wants to work on that cutter sinker to use to get a double play. He can do that in spring, not the WBC.
And now Judge is down on strikes, so Michael Waka has 4 strikeouts in 3 scoreless innings. And no.
Michael Garcia set to lead off the inning, and look at that young Mikey right there. The first hit of his big league career coming on July 29th, 2022, right here at Yankee Stadium. He was batting 8th that day, gets the infield hit against Garrett Cole, had another hit and a run off of Cole in the 5th inning. One more hit, a 3-hit day in the 9th inning off of the bullpen. That was his 3rd career game, first career start, and now we know how different he is. Interesting to discuss this, guys, because Royals longtime executive, senior vice president of Major League and International Operations, Rene Francisco, is here with the team on this trip. And I said to him, as I do with a lot of the Latin players that have come through the Royals system from the beginning, when did you first lay eyes on Michael, and how did you hear about him? He said, I actually got a call, so we know that the former shortstop, who had a lot of assists out there, gets an assist on this one, not throwing to Haas, but making a phone call to Rene Francisco. He said, I got a cousin that you need to look at. Royal scouts liked him. They invited him to the academy, and Rene says the first time that he laid eyes on Michael, he said you could see the talent, but he was 127 pounds. He hit the ball hard. He barreled everything to right field, but it was weak. He said you could see that he was going to be a good hitter. You could see the skills, but he was needing to bulk up. We know that has now happened. And Rene telling me that still to this day, he talks regularly to Alcides Escobar, probably talks to Esky more than Michael does. And he says that Esky is a very, very proud cousin and gets the little bit of credit for the assist on that one.
Joel, you need to bulk up. Speaking of,
come on,
this win's going to get you, buddy.
Come on.
Well, listen, with Rene Francisco, I got to sit with him on the bus today as well. Man, he does a great job getting international talent. Just stay right there in the bloodline of the Escobars. Alcides, that is. But Michael Garcia, right? I've told you guys many of times, when I saw you guys here last season and I looked at Michael, I said, man, this is a grown man body. He's not young anymore. He's ready for this. And he sure is. He's taking it on well.
1 ball, 2 strikes. 127 pounds?
That's crazy.
I mean, you're doing a lot of projecting when you look at a kid that is that thin and that wiry.
That's right. In baseball, you know, 162 games, you try to be effortless and easy. You try not to generate too much, because that's not going to last throughout a full season. So now he's stronger, he's in his legs, and he can be effortless and nice and easy with his approach and his mechanics.
Still 1-2 on Junior. Struck out on a fastball in the first inning. Schlittler has retired the first 10.
Early looks, first time through there. You can see the fastball plays, especially at the top of the zone, and he looks like to be in a rhythm, a slow rhythm. So I know it's only game 4 or 5 for me up in the booth, but Royals fans might get sick and tired of hearing me say this. Another reason to get him off his routine, play baseball, get him out of his rhythm any kind of way. We see the numbers, we see how good he's been. Let's try and do something a little different. And as they say in the dugout, Ryan, make him work. Try and make him work.
Yeah, you got to be more creative now with the pitch clock. You can't step out 2 or 3 times to try and slow him down. But you were saying the other day, I mean, put a bunt down. Now he did field a little check swing ground ball from Michael just to the third base side of the mound, but that's a big body. Make him run to the line and pick up a bunt. See what kind of a fielder he is.
And you brought up a great point. You see the front foot start it. So also another great point. Pitch clock's done. Then it's a little bit of Seth Lugo right there.
And it's one hop to Rice, and he's to the bag for the out.
So with that being said, that's his rhythm. That's how you get him off of it.
Well, speaking of Garrett Cole, he's the subject of our injury report update brought to you by the University of Kansas Health System. The former Cy Young winner and 4-time All-Star is out with Tommy John surgery. He has started his rehab assignment, and he will be with Double-A Somerset tonight. 6-time All-Star, and he's led his league with the lowest ERA twice.
Ouch. There's that curveball again. Curveball's a weapon because you cannot anticipate the fastball. Heavy velocity, it's at the top of the zone. So I have this to combat it. So hitters can't cheat on my fastball. That one hurt. Some professionalism being taken place here from Vinny and the home plate umpire, giving Wells some time. Catchers, home plate umpires, they get some tough foul tips, or maybe give them a little extra time, and everybody understands what's going on there on the field.
Oh, 2 on Vinny. He grounded sharply to Chisholm at second base in the first inning, and that's the hardest hit ball so far among the first 11 Royals hitters. Lays off the curveball this time, 1-2.
So when we say when he has a little bit of Lugo, when you say, Ryan, he has a little bit of Lugo in him, when he first takes that kickback with the front foot out of the windup, from that point on, it is so slow, smooth, and controlled. That's the rhythm we want to throw him off a little bit.
Line, base hit, and the Royals have their first base runner.
That'll play. Beautiful approach, beautiful swing. Yeah, you should be fired up, Vinny. That's some impressive hitting. Take 2 curveballs in the dirt. Said, all right, he's coming fastball at the top here. Let's get it going. Work to the opposite field. Beautiful approach. And some serious discipline, Ryan. Looks like that right field short porch wasn't creeping in Vinny's eye right there.
Salvi grounded out to third his first time up.
And even this cut fastball at 93, we saw a slider there for Salvador with 2 strikes first at bat. The league knows Salvador Perez can hit a fastball. He's been doing it well for a long time. So even a young star like Schlittler coming up with an elite fastball says, no, I still got to mix it up with Salvador.
Oh, 2. And a fastball is taken for a strike. Man, all that movement And then he comes right down the pipe for a
Fling replay. We're going to go over Salvador's at bat. Again, these pitchers have one main pitch that they are pitching off of, and that's the fastball with Schlittler. So you see early on the slider, that's to get Salvador off of the fastball so he can't anticipate it, and then boom, boom, fastball, fastball. That's really good pitching right there from young Cam Schlittler.
First one was just to put the thought in the back of his mind.
That's right. That's right. And as a hitter, I'm thinking now if I'm Salvador, man, that's 2 sliders right there. I got to get it going, but I got to respect the slider as well, so I cannot cheat to the fastball.
That's a good illustration of why we sit up here in the booth or you're watching at home and you go, man, Salvi never takes a fastball right down the middle.
That's right. Sometimes these pitchers feature stuff that is so nasty at such high velocities. After you don't have success up, guys, you really do have to just pick a pitch out and say, I'm going to sit on this pitch, or I'm going to anticipate this spot this whole entire at bat.
0-2 on Bellinger, and Waka struck him out first time up with a changeup, and now with 2 strikes he goes with the fastball, and as a result Bellinger was very late. Changeup fades outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, you see that changeup at 81 miles an hour. As a hitter, it looks about 40 miles an hour. So you really have to respect it by seeing the ball as deep as possible.
Salvi sets up inside, and that's where the slider misses. 2-2. Jam. And that's going to be down for a leadoff hit. And the Yankees' 3rd base runner.
That's where approach can work and benefit, especially with a veteran player like Bellinger. Working the other side with my direction. Fastball up, had a little cut on it, looked like at the end. Bellinger staying inside the ball with his swing. His direction towards left center is what allows that blooper to be possible.
Giancarlo Stanton popped out to first in the 1st inning.
Fans here in New York are saying, I thought this Bobby Witt Jr. guy could catch pop-ups, huh? Not that one. Not that one.
If it was a little higher than that, he might have gotten underneath it.
Yeah, but he is human, believe it or not.
One and one on Stanton, who has the most career home runs of any active player.
Seems like Stan's been in the big leagues for 30 years.
2-1. 455, 44 more than anyone else, at least.
Wow. A lot of Hall of Famers, if not all Hall of Famers on that list.
And then you think about how often he's been on the injured list.
Big guy, getting older as well, and there is a lot of torque being generated when he gets the bat through the zone. But even him, Ryan, you see the closed stance. He's made several adjustments throughout the course of his long, successful career.
3-2. Yeah, as I'm watching him right now, I'm thinking, I remember he was like upright. Now it looks like he's trying to get a little bend at the waist.
Yeah, a little older, less movement, less moving parts, helps me be a little more consistent. All play a factor.
Waka comes back to strike him out. And that's 5 for Michael and 3 in the 3rd innings.
To me, this all goes back to that 3-1 paint, 3-2 sinker, run it back in, over the plate, catches top of the zone. But that 3-1 sinker really changed the momentum of that at bat. That was perfectly executed, painted 3-1 to lead to that 3-2 strikeout.
And Rice struck out on 3 pitches, his first time up on a changeup. You know, you said that Michael Waka's changeup is a lot slower. It seems a lot slower than what the radar gun tells you. Does that make it a hard pitch to sit on?
It certainly does. It almost makes it.
Well, he got on that changeup and hits a Yankee Stadium home run to give New York a 2-0 lead.
Ben Rice has been the Yankees' hottest hitter. This is a changeup low, followed by the fastball high. When you have a team that's built off power and home runs, there's a good chance guys sit on certain pitches. I'm wondering if Ben Rice, after that fastball high, said, I'm going to try and sit on this changeup, like you were saying, Ryan, which is really, really hard to do, but he was able to do it.
That's the first hit all year off of Walker's changeup, and we were talking at the beginning of the broadcast. He throws it so often, he's thrown it his whole career, and yet hitters still can't figure it out. And that wasn't a bad one. I mean, that was down.
Which is exactly why that tells me he was sitting on it, had to have been, because you'll hear people say, hitters say in the dugout, it doesn't get there, it just never gets there. So if you're sitting on it and able to barrel it, that's your approach, that's your plan.
Grounded sharply to Junior. 2 down. So all of Michael Wacha's runs allowed this year have come on home runs. He gave up a solo home run to Stephen Kwan, and that was the only run he allowed in his first 3 starts, and now he's given up a 2-run home run to Ben Rice, the left-hand batter.
You know, sometimes at this level you have to tip your cap. 3-4 hole open. Michael Wacha knew Ben Rice wanted to pull the baseball. So again, the changeup, that combats that very well, almost perfectly. When you can have a hitter that's anticipating the fastball, get it out front, you pull the string like that, another sign that Rice could have been sitting on it.
That will drop untouched, and it's 1-1 on Jazz Chisholm.
A lot of times too, the hitters will tell themselves, if I am sitting on a pitch and have that ability, I'm not just going to do it for 1 at-bat, I'm going to do it for all 3 at-bats off a starter, hoping I catch one and end up with big results like Rice.
Two and 2 on Chisholm, who walked his first time up on a pitch that would have been a strike if it was challenged. Just barely a strike. And it looked like he was locked up by the fastball. It wasn't a good eye. And now that's pounded, but it's well foul.
Good example there of little pitch com versus pitch clock issue. Salvador Perez has been calling the pitch com, calling pitches. But right there with 4 seconds left, Michael Wacha also has a pitch com and must have just went to something late. See him do it again here as the pitch clock winds down.
3 and 2.
Just missed.
Jose Caballero is on deck. And Chisholm hits it very high to right field. And Caglione did the right thing of going back first, and now he descends on the ball and makes the catch. But the Yankees take a 2-0 lead on Ben Rice's home run. Cody Bellinger to give the Yankees a 2-0 lead. The Royals have 1 base runner in the first 4 innings against Cam Schlittler. Outside on Carter Jensen, who struck out on a fastball in the 2nd inning. Schlittler has struck out 4. That was Carter's first career Yankee Stadium at bat. 1-1.
57 pitches through 4 so far. If anybody is vulnerable in this Yankees roster, it is the bullpen, with the exception of former Royal Tim Hill. The worst comes to worst, we can get Schlittler's pitch count up, dig into that bullpen.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Vinny Pasquantino singled with 2 outs in the 4th inning, and that's the Royals' only base runner so far. Fouled away. .66", 215 pounds.
Wow, big boy. Tall glass of water, what they say, right?
My childhood voice was Vin Scully, and he had so many great lines. But he would describe Schlittler when he was describing a pitcher who was very skinny. He'd say, when he stands sideways, you can hardly see him.
What a legend.
Did he hold? He did not. Carter kind of stares down the third base line at Nestor Ceja.
Schlittler's got his A+ stuff tonight. This is a breaking ball. Once again, Carter Jensen trying to get it going before he recognized the breaking ball. Too late for him to hold up.
One out, Lane Thomas. Shattered bat. Caballero makes the play, 2 down, and Lane is 0 for 2. Fireworks are coming up a week from tonight at Kauffman Stadium. The Angels will be in town, so you can come see a show on the field and then a show in the sky with Fireworks Friday, presented by Price Chopper and Oreo. Get your tickets at royals.com/promotions. And speaking of the Angels, they were just here and took 3 out of 4 from the Yankees, and people close to the Yankees organization, I must have heard it at least 4 times today. Caglione has a good swing and singles to the opposite field. Everyone was saying they should have been swept by the Angels, and that's with Mike Trout leading the way with 5 home runs, and he'll be in Kansas City next weekend.
Wow. Jack Caglione continued to stay disciplined. 98 at the top of the zone. That's an elite heater fastball that you just barreled up. But yeah, Ryan, it was a heavyweight battle between Mike Trout and Aaron Judge. We talked a little bit in Detroit about Mike Trout doing the step back, and it seemed to all come together here in the Bronx for him.
Well, you don't see it at all from Schlittler tonight, but you could understand if the Yankees were a little gun shy, because they gave up 13 home runs to the Angels in that 4-game series. They had given up very few all year. Massey hits it well into left center field, and Grisham is back and he runs it down to put an end to the Royals' 5th inning. New York lead off dead at the Outfield Experience. During pregame, Matt Quatraro will be busy getting the Royals ready for that game, but I will assume that he's going to at some point be out on the field so that he can listen from a distance. Better off dead, with Q being a big Grateful Dead fan. 1-1 on Jose Caballero. If I asked you who led the major leagues in stolen bases last year, how long would it take you until you finally arrived at Jose Caballero?
Man, I have no idea. I will tell you what I remember about Jose Caballero was he was the first ever ABS challenge player. Is that how you say it?
He called for the first one. That's right.
First player to ever use the challenge, and it was not successful. So he will always be that guy.
Trivia question,
respectfully.
20 years from now.
Yep.
He's ahead in the count. 3 balls, 1 strike. Austin Wells is on deck, and then Trent Grisham. That is low for a leadoff walk. That's Waka's 2nd. Time for a message from UMB Private Wealth.
Am I saving enough for retirement?
Do I have a clear financial plan?
Get financial clarity. Schedule an appointment today.
So now you have a dangerous left-hand batter at the plate and a distraction over at first base in Caballero, and Waka comes to the plate quickly.
The call on the field is a ball. The catcher is challenging.
Salvi's 1 for 1 tonight. ABS is powered by T-Mobile, and he's 2 for 2.
It is a strike. Kansas City has 2 challenges remaining.
Laughing and smiling again. Salvi, El Capitan, having some more success with the challenge system.
Well, he's gotten Austin Wells to smile. He got Aaron Judge to smile in the 3rd inning when Salvi challenged and it was overturned.
Captain versus El Capitan. Say, come on, buddy. They both knew it. That's funny. That's awesome.
Ben Rice homered with 1 on, 1 out in the 4th inning to give the Yankees a 2-0 lead. Slide step, and that's hit well to center field. But Isbell is back and now makes the catch. And about an inning ago, Haas and I both felt suddenly a strong, cool breeze blowing in from center field. And if you look up at the flags in left center field, I mean, that wind is a factor now. And we've seen a couple of fly balls. Caglione last inning, Isbell this inning, expecting the ball to carry more. And at the end, they end up running back toward the infield to make the catch.
Yeah, you see the flags. It's a no-fly zone out there today. Not much that's going to go out of the stadium to center unless one of the big boys decide to get that heavyweight boxing matchup going again. Caballero, like you mentioned, Ryan, he likes to steal. He can run the bases. Taking an interesting lead here. Check this out at home, all my youngsters. We're getting a walking lead because Caballero likes to have some momentum in his legs as he's getting his lead versus getting 3 steps and being stagnant out there. So let's take a look at this. Michael Wacha's about to come set. You see how he's creeping.
Junior backhands. No play at second base, and Finney has a nice stretch toward right field for out number 2.
Great play, Vinny. Way to stretch that wingspan. Good footwork around the bag, too, to be able to stretch that wingspan and get the maximum length. No time for Bobby Witt Jr. Let's check it out. No time to get the force at second. Backhand. Bobby looking like a quarterback right there. Option 1 wasn't there. Let's go ahead and get the out at first. Ow. I could not do that. Vinny is flexible. And he sure has improved. His defense looks really, really dialed in. Puts a lot of hard work in out there. In season and off season, and it's showing.
Two 2-0 on Judge. So you have an open base. Judge is 1 for 2 with a double, but for the most part, Michael Wacha has owned Aaron Judge.
Correct. Still got to be careful. One of the best in the game.
Do you want to pitch to a guy with 3 MVPs and a Rookie of the Year, or do you want to pitch to a guy on deck with 1 MVP and a Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, we saw Judge. He had a plan. It was to ambush 0-0 first at bat.
And the Royals are caught napping, and Caballero, with that movement that Haas was talking about, with some forward momentum, ends up at third base without a throw.
And that's where the movement really comes into play, because at first, Michael Wacha's goal is to get him to stop his feet. But again, you got number 99 in the box. This is a huge, huge part of the game. Huge pitch, huge sequence. Caballero doing a good job seeing Michael Wacha overthinking it out there.
And I'll tell you what, as impressive as that stolen base was, and the timing was perfect.
Yeah.
Better be safe with Aaron Judge at the plate and 2 outs.
You better be 3,000% sure that you will be safely at L base. Here's one more look. Again, the pitch comp sees Mike Wacha's head down. Took one look at Mike Hill, saw he was playing back, and said, I'm going to do this.
And now Judge will take a walk. I don't know if I've seen that before, Haas. I mean, I've seen someone steal a base, but I don't know if I've seen someone steal third base with a right-hand pitcher, because he's got everything in front of him, but he must have recognized, first of all, that right when the pitcher gets on the rubber, they're probably not used to disengaging as soon as they engage. And he also timed it perfectly, because he could tell Michael was deep in thought and trying to figure out what pitch he wanted to go with.
That's right. It seemed like when he saw Michael Wacha was deep in thought, maybe couldn't hear the pitch comp. It's loud here in the Bronx. That's when I think he took a look at Mike Hill. And Mike Hill being deep, there's a lot that has to go right for that play to work on the defensive side. So Caballero understands that. And again, his feet are already moving, so a little momentum was already going that way. And he took off. And like you said, Ryan, a lot of risk there, but he knew what he was doing on that play.
Bellinger takes a strike. So here's our first circle your scorecard moment here. Wacha needs an out badly. He has allowed 2 walks. Bellinger is 1 for 2 with a bloop single. He is off to a slow start with 1 home run, but he has big time power, and we know he doesn't have to hit it very far to right. And Wacha's ahead 0-2.
Yeah, little first and third defense here. Aaron Judge first pitch did an early fake break just to see what the middle of the infield was doing. But in all likelihood, you know he wants to leave that hole open for Bellinger being left-handed. Royals did a good job of holding their ground, not biting for the fake, and now reacting to it. Salvi going out there. Even if you have the same first and third defense on, Ryan, it's good to get out there. So Aaron Judge is saying there's a possibility they change it up. Can't just get the free base.
Fastball, strike 3 called, and now Bellinger is going to challenge.
Ball on the field is a strike. The batter is challenging.
And Bellinger is right.
It is a ball. New York has 2 challenges remaining.
Well, again, Charlie Ramos is 0 for 3, but every miss has been by a hair.
That's a tough one. Hard to think that one he gets discredited by that.
Good block by Salvi with Caballero at third. There's a lot of foul territory behind home plate.
Yeah, great block here. Runner on third. Third ball. Salvi knowing the changeup's coming, so you can see the one leg out like Manny Sanguillen back in the day. Drop and block. Keep it right there. Manny Sanguillen, how about that name drop?
Are you old enough to know Manny Sanguillen?
I went to Manny Sanguillen's baseball camp.
Okay, there we go.
Yep, Orlando, Florida.
Judge runs, and it is inside. So he gets a stolen base without a throw, and that's 27 stolen bases for the Yankees, entering tonight's 2nd in the American League. And now Bellinger pops it up. Massey goes out. Isbell comes in, and Isbell got it. It looked like it wiggled around inside of his glove, and Michael Wacha gets around 2 walks and 2 stolen bases. The contestant is Kirk Shelton from KCMO, and if the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, Kirk wins $1,000. If it's a grand slam out of the park, Kirk wins $25 grand. From Sonic and the Royals, scan the QR code for more information on how to become a contestant. Isbell made a nice play for the final out of the 5th inning, with again the wind being a factor. Michael Massey wanted it all the way, and Isbell has priority being an outfielder over an infielder, but the wind just kept pushing it back toward the infield.
Yeah, the wind blowing in heavy right now. These players are aware.
Jammed, and Rice goes out from first and makes the play just inside the line for out number 1. Here's a message from your Kansas City Toyota dealers.
Dear Friday, let's put good times in gear. Toyota trucks. Toyota. Let's go places.
Cam Schlittler has retired 16 of 18. The Royals have 2 singles against him, both from left-hand batters to the opposite field. Vinny in the 4th and Caglione in the 5th.
The batter is challenging.
Michael did not think that that was a strike. ABS is powered by T-Mobile.
It is a ball. Kansas City has 2 challenges remaining.
Michael's seeing it good. Starting to get late. Schlittler's are really, really good tonight. Certainly looks like he has his A+ stuff. Again, Ryan, we want to dig into that bullpen, but looks like we got to do something off Cam.
That's low, 2-0. No walks, 5 strikeouts. So the grand total for him this year in 4+ starts, 1 walk, 35 strikeouts. So on one hand, you can go up there and be patient, but if you're too patient, you're going to be down 0-2 or 1-2.
Yeah, and what does that tell you? These hitters, they do their homework, they prep. You knew heading in today you had to get on the fastball. That tells you how good the fastball plays.
Cutter that didn't cut.
Especially when you know it's going to be in the zone, Ryan. There's not a lot of walks. He's throwing me a lot of fastballs. Every reason for me to be on the heater and aggressive and ready to swing. But again, when it's elite, 99th percentile, still very hard to put barrel on it.
He was on that one and fouled it away. 3 balls, 2 strikes. A 7th round pick out of Northeastern University in Boston. I mean, he looks like a 1st round pick out of LSU.
Like a can't miss prospect.
That's right.
Give him $9 million out of college. We'll see you in 3 months in the big leagues.
Michael is on with a walk, and that is just the 2nd given up all year by Schlittler. And now we get into the middle of the order with the Royals down by 2.
Great at bat from Michael. 1-0, laid off a quality slider. Again, when anticipating fastball, just quality approach there. 2-1, fouled off the cutter, but you saw he was getting it going, and then discipline, draw the walk. Ball to strike, sinker. First pitch again. Bobby, you see it start out in that left-handed batter's box. As a hitter, you're saying, nope, it's a ball. And then all of a sudden, boom, that sinker comes right back over the plate.
I'll tell you another thing, too, just keeping an eye on Michael here and trying to throw Schlittler out of his routine and get a guy in scoring position. For 6'6", he's quick to the plate.
Yeah, he certainly understands that to generate runs, teams aren't going to go up there and just try and slug. They're trying to create any way possible.
That would have been a good pitch to run on, and when teams have run on the Yankees, they've been successful. They've thrown out just 5 of 20.
And we're seeing Michael Caballero walking lead. Michael getting his steps out there early and holding his ground. 2 different styles.
Not running, and Junior hits it well to center field. Grisham gets turned around, and now the ball fades on him, and it's off his glove. And the Royals will have runners at 2nd and 3rd with 1 out.
That's a no catch, Ryan. This ball, we showed those flagpoles earlier before this inning. That ball might be a home run if there's no wind blowing in. But let's get another look. Bobby putting barrel on it. Trent Grisham kind of coasting back to it. Aware of the wall, kind of stutter steps there at the end. And that little stutter step caused his vision maybe to be a little blurry right there and hit off the top of his glove. Let's see if the Royals can take full advantage of that. And that was the ABS, or that was not the ABS. I'm sorry, I thought I had to read there on replay. I apologize, everybody. A little excited, Ryan. This is our opportunity right here.
Did he start to peek for the wall a little too soon as the ball was descending into his glove?
Very well. That's what happens when you kind of coast after it and try to turn it on all of a sudden. That's why, like you said, Ryan, earlier in this game, it's good to get to that wall first and then kind of work your way back versus coasting and then panicking.
Let's watch his head as the ball's going into the glove.
Again, you want that head to stay as still as possible because you don't want it to mess up your vision. You see him bouncing up and down there. Along with that peak, could have been the reason. Little snot rocket there. Fundamentals matter, Ryan. Fundamentals matter. I don't like snot rockets. Madison Bumgarner.
Unless Vinny sends one into the seats in right field. Fair, though.
Good idea. He was thinking the same thing, Ryan. Get it out there.
So a base hit would tie the game. A home run would give the Royals the lead. But at the very minimum here, the Royals need to get at least 1 run. And Schlittler, who's a big strikeout pitcher, is thinking otherwise. And it's 0-2 on Vinny.
Just one run even right here, Ryan, super important. We got the pitch count working a little bit. Michael doing a phenomenal job of getting a secondary lead. Primary lead, a little shorter, and then expand to a secondary lead. Ahmed Rosario's playing Vinny DePool. He's going to stay close, and now he's just backing away 2 strikes.
And Vinny has hit the ball hard for an out to the right side, and he is singled to the left side. Breaking ball pulled on the ground, and the Royals will get a run. So it's not the best case scenario, but they had to make sure and get something out of that drop ball in center field. So it's 2-1 with Junior at third base and 2 down.
Yeah, that's a win, Ryan. We knew Michael was probably going on contact. We had to get one any way we can. We needed contact. This is the reason Vinny Pasquantino drives in 100 year after year, and will continue to. These at-bats right here, even when you're not feeling your best, he was fired up to. Good team baseball, Vinny.
And now pop up. The wind is going to grab this. 3 Yankees are in the area, and it's going to drop foul. And that is a huge break for the Yankees. The wind on one hand hurt them because they weren't able to catch up to it, but then it helped them pushing it into foul ground.
Man, and look at all 3 fielders going after it, kind of looking around. Nobody wanted to take ownership and call it. Man, just foul. We mentioned earlier we can take advantage of the Yankees. They've made 10 errors so far in this short season. Grisham kind of opened the window for us on Bobby Witt Jr.'s ball. Inches away from that being a fair ball. Tie game.
As the Royals need to make that hurt.
That's right.
That'll be pushed into the crowd. And there's a huge crowd here tonight. No balls and 2 strikes.
Big game feel. Said it again, walking through the city, seeing Royal hats, seeing pinstripes, and then packed stadium tonight. Big game feel. Has everything about it, all the feels for it. Vinny likes to keep things lighthearted. I got to imagine he's saying, boys, this guy is nasty. A lot of them facing Schlittler for the first time in their careers, at least big league careers. Keep it light.
Chased. Got him to get a fastball up, but the Royals get 1. Vinny's ground ball drives in Michael Garcia, and the Royals are down by 1 as the Royals pushed across their first run in the 6th inning on an RBI ground out by Vinny Pasquantino.
And it was a big one. We mentioned that was the inning. Is he leading it off, and then the big boys coming up? Had to get something, especially taking advantage of the miscue in center field.
1-1 on Stanton. He has popped out and struck out. Michael Wacha has struck out 5 tonight. And the wind will push that one out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Stat lines can be really deceiving. Michael Wacha still having a great outing. Just 1 pitch. Ben Rice sitting on it. It was the right mindset. Good execution. Sometimes big league hitters are just sitting on it the whole time.
Slider.
Let's go back to it. It's the Rally House moment that matters. Ben Rice again does a really good job approach-wise, and it looked like he wanted that changeup, and he told himself to sit on it and trust that he'll get it. He does a really good job of taking advantage of that short porch in right field. And he's off to a great start so far this 2026 young season.
He struck out on a changeup in the 2nd inning. So you have to factor that in as well. That's a good adjustment by a young player. Turning a strikeout in 1 at-bat, going back to the dugout and thinking it over, and then the same pitch that struck him out in the 2nd ends up in the right field seats in the 4th.
Yeah, hitters are different. That's why, you know, coaches throughout this league really have to cater the approach to the specific hitter, and communication as well. Maybe Ben Rice went in the dugout Told the Yankees hitting department, hey, I'm actually seeing that changeup really well. I can sit on it. You just never know.
Foul ball, and it was the first hit allowed by Waka this year on his changeup. Hits the ball hard. We just showed you he's among the league leaders in average exit velocity. Jack Caglione is also on that list. Three and two.
A lot of Yankee fans around town really want to see Ben Rice in there every day. And again, if you're thinking platoon matchups for a lefty walk on this changeup, it's a tough matchup.
The wind will do him no favors here. Thomas makes a play, and there are 2 down in the 6th inning.
Yeah, you can certainly see why they want him in there every day. Again, Ryan, with that devastating changeup, it's always not righty versus lefty, lefty versus righty. You mentioned Anderson with Detroit last series. We pinched hit Lane Thomas. Ben Rice is really starting to show that he's not one-dimensional. He can handle righties with that movement going away from him, and possibly lefties as well.
Ahmed Rosario is a tough luck 0 for 2. He's hit the ball hard twice. And we saw quite a bit of him when he was with Cleveland, coming over in a high-profile trade when the Guardians traded Francisco Lindor to the Mets. Guardians lost their shortstop, but they got the Mets' 2 biggest shortstop prospects in Ahmed Rosario and Andres Jimenez. This is season number 10 in the big leagues with Rosario, and the Yankees are his 7th team.
Wow. Been around.
1 and 2.
Created a spark plug early for the Yankees off the bench with a big pinch hit homer early in the season. After that opening series in San Francisco, the Yankees bats went quiet for a while. And kind of like Salvi's homer yesterday, they got woke up by that home run from Rosario.
Backed him off the plate.
Watch out.
Still 2 and 2 on Rosario, and now Waka is moving up on 100 pitches. He went 8 innings in his last start against the White Sox.
Likely his last guy if he gets Rosario, so finish another quality outing.
And he gets a ground ball to Michael in time. Revenge on their minds when Detroit comes to Kauffman Stadium. Michael Waka has been thanked by Matt Quatrero for his effort tonight, giving up 2 runs over 6 innings, making his ERA an even 1 for the year. 0-2 on Carter Jensen against Cam Schlittler, who has just tied his season high with 85 pitches. He's 1 out away from tying a season high for innings in a start. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And with that, we got some action down in the pen. Lefty Hedrick up there. Good chance he's not going to face Lane Thomas, so let's keep a close look. We get some runners on here. Likely Schlittler's going to be done after the Lane Thomas at bat.
Two and 2 on Carter.
And I think it's safe to say we wouldn't mind, the Royals would not mind Schlittler getting off that mound, digging into the bullpen.
Royals have just 2 hits. They called Grisham's play an error. I don't know if I totally agree with that. Yes, it went off of his glove, but that was not a routine out at all if he did make the catch. And Jensen comes back after falling behind 0-2 and has a leadoff walk in a 1-run game.
All right, that gets us going. Tried to be mature the first 6 innings and go no young Carter, stick to Carter Jensen, but young Carter, what a great at bat. We saw a lot of 3-2 counts for young Carter in Detroit. and he won this one in a big situation. Again, likely the last hitter here. Royals need to start digging in that bullpen.
Ooh, Thomas got a good swing on a cutter that stayed in. So Schlittler walked 1 in his first 4 starts. And really, he walked 1 in his first 27 innings. And now the Royals turn to walk into a run in the 6th and have a leadoff walk in the 7th. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike on Thomas.
He's confident pitching here in the Bronx, Yankee Stadium. And you got to imagine, I mean, this kid grew up, Ryan, like you said, in Massachusetts, Boston Red Sox fan. All of a sudden, the Yankees-Red Sox rivalry, you face them in a postseason game. And from that point on, you have a successful outing, you're pretty confident after that.
Fouled away, 1-2.
No reason not to be, right?
Yeah, his start against the Red Sox in the wild card series this past year was a postseason record when you look at 8 or more innings, no walks, and 12 or more strikeouts.
It was a big spot too. Yankees struggled with Boston. He came through in a big outing.
Thomas hits a ground ball right side and through. Jensen turns and holds, and the Royals have 2 on with nobody out.
Whole right side of the infield was wide open. They were shifting Lane Thomas to pull right there. Great 2-strike approach. I'm sure Lane was aware of that, knowing if I get beat deep, I got the whole right side. And now Boone's coming to get him. Got some serious action, Ryan.
Yeah, give the hitters some credit in that Jensen was down 0-2 and he walked. Thomas was down 1-2 and he singled.
Keep battling, boys. Keep battling. All right, we mentioned Schlittler. He had his A+ stuff tonight, especially early. When you throw 99 to 100 miles an hour, you have an elite fastball, you still have to keep hitters off balance at the big league level. So you see a lot of fastballs at the top, but a couple breaking balls as well. And because of it, that doesn't allow fastball hitters like Salvi, Young Carter to cheat on the fastball. You have to honor that slow breaking ball as well. Impressive stuff there from the young Cam Schlittler.
On to face Jack Caglione. And a slider is cut on and missed. From 6'6" to 6'6". Brent Hedrick is also 6'6" tall in his second year with the Yankees. Claimed off of waivers a couple of years ago from Minnesota. No balls, 2 strikes.
Maybe this was the heavyweight battle we came to see and we didn't even know it. 2 good sliders right there to Jack early on. Big spots there. Hedrick showing confidence in that breaking ball.
Caglione spreads out a bit with 2 strikes. And that is that. 3 sliders. And Cags is down on strikes, 1 away.
Yeah, a little frustration there from Cags, and I get it. Because this guy, Hedrick, he's known for his sinker. But he comes in, he goes slider, slider, slider. Cags is looking at these balls start out, thinking they're coming right back in on him, and all of a sudden, boom, slider. 3 of them in a row. It's tough. Pinch hitter looking like they're going with India here, Ryan. Heavy sink.
Massey.
Yeah, sorry about that. Heavy sink from the left side. So you got to like the move here.
Matt Blake, Yankees pitching coach, is out just to discuss Jonathan India, as Hedrick, when he was warming up in the bullpen, was preparing for Caglione, Massey, and Isbell. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals. And that is part of the 44,244 here tonight.
44,000. Big game feel. Big at bat for India. He's been good with runners in scoring position. Royals need him to come through here. More of a four-seam fastball to the righties. Again, Jack Caglione was expecting the sinker. Saw a lot of sliders, but for the righties, if you're going to see a fastball, good chance it'll be a four-seamer.
One ball, one strike on India.
Just like that. He likes it at the top of the zone. A lot of these pitchers with that heavy spin, I think the fastball at the top of the zone is very hard for these hitters to hit, and that's his righty arsenal.
Fouled away. One ball, two strikes. Jonathan India doubled leading off the Royals' 6-run 7th inning in Detroit yesterday, and that put an end to an 0 for 16.
Got things going. Leadoff double. Different situation here. Right side of the right side of the field is open, like it was for Lane.
And he goes to the opposite field. The wind will work on it. Rice makes the catch.
All right, here's tonight. Whataburger's what a play. Again, the wind helped out a little bit as far as Grisham missing that first one, but Ben Rice knew he had a chance because the wind holding it up. Didn't have to worry about the wall either. So at that point, it's a dead sprint, knowing the wall's not a factor. Another pinch hitter here for the Royals.
Starling Marte. He was 1 for 5 in the Tigers series. The inning began with 2 on and nobody out. And Marte hits it up the right field line, slicing foul. Right idea, though, against a pitcher like this.
That's right. Take him the other way. Carter getting a good secondary lead at second base, but again, short porch in right field. Aaron Judge has a good arm, healthy as well. It's going to be tough. You want to be aggressive, but at the same time, you got to respect the arm out there. So I'm not sure if he can score on a hit.
And Chisholm is trying to keep him close, and the ball ends up in center field. And both Royals are going to move up as Grisham bobbled it out in center. No further advance. So now a base hit could give the Royals the lead.
This could be costly for the Yankees. Trying to get creative defensively. You don't typically see the Yankees do this a lot, and it sure did cost them. And again, Grisham in the outfield. You mentioned Ryan in the pregame that you really have to be aggressive, even if you're not going first to third on base hits up the middle with Grisham, because he struggles on those ground balls coming in. A little bit of an example of it right there on the pickoff thrown away.
Marte takes down and away. Neither team has a hit tonight with a runner in scoring position. 1 and 2.
Took a little off, registered as a sinker, kind of played like a changeup there. Marte didn't seem to be expecting it, kind of looked up at the board, not understanding what type of pitch that was.
Bounce off the plate. He's going to have to hurry, and he throws the strike over to Rice. And so the Royals got a leadoff walk and then a single, 2 on, nobody out. But Brent Hedrick comes on and bails out Schlittler.
Strikeouts, ERA is 1 exactly. Keeping the momentum going for the Royals starting pitching. Just one good outing after another. Fastball at the top of the zone. Continued good numbers against Aaron Judge. And then Stanton there with the fastball at the top and the slider again. Great outing for Michael Wacha, but nothing but consistent all year long.
So he gives up 2 earned runs. Cam Schlittler gave up an unearned run because of what was ruled an error on Grisham. Ben Rice hit a 2-run home run for the Yankees in the 4th inning. Vinny Pasquantino had an RBI groundout for the Royals in the 6th. And now the Royals go into their bullpen. Eli Morgan will get the lower third in the bottom of the 7th inning.
I've been impressed with Eli Morgan so far. Really, really good start to the season for him with the Royals. He's been in many different roles, ate up innings for length, but he's came in firing strikes. He's got that changeup to go with it. Similar to Michael Wacha, fastball changeup, but you got to love him coming in, pounding the zone, pounding the strike zone. See if he can hold them here.
And with 6 strikeouts for the Royals in 6 innings, we remind you that when the Royals get 10 or more strikeouts, you save big. Get a free item the next day at Price Chopper. Jazz Chisholm will lead off, followed by Jose Caballero and Austin Wells.
India staying in the game at second base. And Ryan, it is so hard to pitch in Yankee Stadium here in the Bronx. You always hear it, especially as a visiting player. And you take a look at Michael Wacha's outing. 6 strikeouts. I mean, almost perfection. One pitch. The margin of error at this level. He didn't miss many spots, and it was a good spot. Ben Rice. It's just different up here at the big leagues.
Marte remains in the game in left field after pinch hitting for Isbell. And Lane Thomas, who was in left, moves to center. Fouled away by Jazz Chisholm. He walked in the second inning against Wacha and then flied out to right in the 4th.
There's that fastball at the top of the zone from Morgan. Fastball changeup. It's a good north-south mix.
Salvi's going to challenge this one.
Call on the field is ball. The catcher is challenging. It is a strike. Kansas City has 2 challenges.
Was there any doubt?
I mean, margin of error, speaking of, incredible.
There's the changeup fading away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I would think that this wouldn't be a huge adjustment going from Wacha's changeup to Morgan's changeup.
No, but see, the Royals playing a little bit of the reverse splits as well. Understanding that changeup is tough to hit for the lefties with Jazz coming up. Caballero next, but Wells to follow for the 3-batter minimum.
Salvi sets up down and away, and it fades outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And that is high for a leadoff walk, and that's the second time that Chisholm has walked tonight. The Yankees led the major leagues offensively in many categories, including walks. And now Caballero, he walked leading off the 5th inning against Wacha, but ended up being stranded at third after stealing third. And he's also struck out. Up and away, ball 1.
Yankees usually, like we said, they like to rely on the 3-run homer, but here late, bottom of the order, Jazz. We know Jazz is a base stealer. Caballero, they can get some small ball going, so got to be aware defensively for the Royals.
Chisholm has 8 stolen bases. 1 ball, 1 strike for a team that is second in the major leagues in stolen bases and first in the American League. Only the Brewers have more stolen bases, and the Yankees have 2 more tonight. They have 27. They have more stolen bases than they do home runs.
Yeah, don't be fooled with Jazz Chisholm having his hands on his knees over there in the lead. He likes to do the sneak attack. Watch his back knee kind of pointing towards second base. Let's go ahead and get it started going that way. Didn't do it there.
Bunted foul.
A lot of base runners, when they take their lead and get out there. We mentioned Caballero likes to keep his feet moving, kind of start back, creep up. Guys that get out there and stand still, that back knee, they like to turn it towards second base, get a head start in that direction where they're taking off to.
Caballero had a sliver of his bat go flying off to the third base side. Still 1-2. Chisholm started to run and stopped, and it's lined to center field. Thomas is there. One away.
Come get it, Lane. Caballero just protecting with 2 strikes. Fastball at the top of the zone. Put a good swing on it, but Lane was out there in center, well positioned. A couple steps in towards right field to make the catch.
Austin Wells grounded out to first and flied to center field against Waka. He has 1 solo home run this year. He had 2 home runs and 8 RBIs against the Royals last season. 2-0. That's a swing, so says home plate umpire Charlie Ramos.
Quality pitch, 2-0 changeup. Likely the hitter's going to get it going. Thinking it's a fastball count, just painted it low and away.
Chisholm is back in time. Morgan last pitched in the game on Wednesday in Detroit, and he allowed a home run to Wenzel Perez on a changeup. And I think everybody in the ballpark realized that that's what he was sitting on when he went up there.
Similar theme to tonight, Ben Rice and Waka.
3-1. And that home run hit by Perez ended up being the difference in a 2-1 Tigers win. Let's see if Chisholm takes off on this 3-1 pitch. He's leaning in that direction. He took off early, and that is ball 4. And now Morgan has walked 2 at the top of the order coming up. If he had waited a half a second longer, they could have backed off the rubber and the Royals could have eliminated a base runner. Brian Sweeney's out for a chat.
Yeah, good time for a chat. Got to wonder if the Royals are going to get somebody warmed up, but I don't know if there's enough time. Aaron Judge on deck. This is a big at bat here to get Grisham at least 1, maybe 2 outs. Certainly do not want number 99 to be the reason why you don't win a game.
Grisham is 0 for 3. He has 2 home runs this year, and he hit 34 last season. That was 17 more than any other year.
Yeah, breakout year for Grisham. He won a Gold Glove in center field. Has multiple Gold Gloves in center field, but the bat really came alive last year.
Good low changeup. In his first year with the New York a couple of years ago after trade with the Padres, he was a big disappointment, but he made some adjustments during the offseason and put up numbers in several categories that were career highs, soaring past his previous career highs. 1-1.
Yeah, and it's certainly no disrespect to Trent Grisham, but when the Yankees acquired him in that trade, don't know if he was the main asset they were looking for, but ended up turning in a quality season for them last year.
Showing bunt and taking in the dirt.
Showing bunt for a hit. Certainly not a sack there, obviously, but pretty risky there because if Grisham doesn't get on first base and gets thrown out, that'll be a free pass to number 99. We would not mind taking the bat out of his hand.
Are you suggesting that Juan Soto was the bigger acquisition than Trent Grisham in that trade?
Slightly. Again, no disrespect to you, Trent.
Line to right field. Here comes Caglione to make the play and then guns it to second base. It's backed up by Garcia. So far, this has been an inning of good fortune for Morgan because he's walked 2 and gotten 2 lineouts.
Jack Caglione almost had another opportunity to show it off, and man, would that have been huge. Jazz getting a little too much, trying to be aggressive. Almost got doubled up there at second, but this is a huge part to the game here. First and second base. There's not a base open, Ryan, but it's not crazy to think of walking number 99 here to load him up. He's that good, and he's that hot right now as well.
That was a slider, and the fans are booing because it was up above his head. He has 8 home runs. He just hit 4 in the Yankees-Angels series. John Schreiber would be next up for the Royals. Cody Bellinger, a left-hand batter, is on deck. One and one.
Nice pitch. Nice pitch from Morgan. He's been working the slider to a couple of the lefties and the changeup as well. That was a good, well-executed changeup there. It's really looking like this is going to be an at-bat that can decide the game or be a very key at-bat for the game.
Two and one. That thing floated up there forever, and you could tell Judge thought, rethought, and thought again as it was coming in.
Yeah, a little different than the swing he fouled off before, so got to think Salvi made note of that.
Three and one. Well, if you've gone this far with him and it's 3 and 1, and you're not thinking about pitching to him, it goes against the book to walk someone with runners at first and second, but he has 2 home runs in the past against Morgan. Well, you got a hittable pitch there. That was a slider up, and Judge swung with everything he had.
Yeah, he's throwing something to the lefties. Usually you would think changeups, but he's got a good feel for that tonight. We got some 3-2 action here. The runners will be in motion. Still holding my breath up here. Number 99 is that dangerous.
And if you break him down, he's at his best against fastballs, then breaking balls. He's at his worst against off-speed pitches. Changeups, in other words. And that's grounded to Michael, who steps and throws in the dirt, and Vinny picks it out.
Pick it, Vinny. Morgan fired up. Not right there, a little bit before, but that's huge. That a baby.
Well, if the numbers hold true, this would be the guy for the Royals to rally in the 8th inning. The top of the order is coming up. They are down by 1. Camilo Doval has a 7.36 earned run average.
Momentum's a real thing. Morgan was fired up getting out of that inning, as is the dugout. Royals like their chances against the Yankees bullpen late, and getting number 99 right there to get out is huge. 6 outs left. Royals are feeling that energy shift.
Outside on a check swing. 1 ball, 1 strike. Michael has scored the Royals run. He had a 1-out walk in the 6th inning. He went to 3rd when Bobby Witt Jr. reached on an error and scored on Vinny Pasquantino's ground out. Fouled away.
Sinker slider for Duvall. He's had a lot of success off of righties. Lefties see him a little bit better. But this guy was closing big games for San Francisco just a couple years ago, so the stuff is certainly real, especially right on right.
And the slider locked him up.
Nothing you can do there. Sinker previous pitch, pitching off the previous pitch is what these pitchers love to do, and throwing the slider off that sinker. Had some downward depth to it as well. Filthy.
3 years ago, he led the National League with 39 saves.
I might have contributed to a couple of those.
Outside on Junior. 99 miles an hour from that angle. Wow.
Firm.
Well, it registered as a cutter, but it backed up at 97.
Something new again for Bobby Witt Jr. You know, that whole one-of-one situation, you're going to continue to see pitches the rest of the league doesn't see.
Didn't quite get a full swing. And Judge is there, 2 down. So now it shifts from a strength of Duvall facing right-hand batters to having to face Vinny.
You can see there a little bit of a sinker. You never really see Bobby Witt Jr. get fooled on pitches. But when you're throwing 3 fastballs all above 100 miles an hour, moving each way, just saw a cutter, now the sinker. Hitting's tough. It's not getting any easier.
Vinny takes ball 1. He grounded out to first in the 6th inning and scored Garcia from third. He also singled against Schlittler. That was Vinny's 9th RBI. Two 2-0.
Hitters count for Vinny. Duvall struggles against left-handed hitters. Don't get me wrong, it's still 98 to 100. But this is a good matchup for Vinny. Good chance Duvall was in there for Bobby and Michael. See if our lefty can take advantage.
Vinny hits it into right field. He got it down around the end of the bat. Judge is at the wall, and it's gone.
Try and sneak him in there. Righty. Got to face a lefty. 3-batter minimum. About time, Vinny. Catch it out in front. Sneak it out of there, that short porch. Gave you the baseball back and everything here in the Bronx. 97, bottom of the zone. Vinny out front, getting it going for the heater. Standing on it, knowing we're in the Bronx. Right field, short porch. Tie it up, boys. Bullpen to bullpen. We like the matchup.
Oh, and 1 on Salvi. Didn't sound like he got all of it, but in this ballpark, you don't have to get all of it.
I don't know if I'm in the booth and that's why, but I was channeling my inner Hawk Harrelson. Stretch.
Salvi fouls it away. No balls, 2 strikes. So Vinny went the first 18 games without hitting a home run, and now he has home runs in back-to-back games, and he's driven in both runs for the Royals tonight.
When you have 600 at-bats a year, some at-bats mean more than hit out. That 3-0 count in Detroit, baby. Lock Vinny in.
1-2.
And again, Ryan, we always see right, left, and all these lineups. 3-batter minimum. It's been a couple years in effect now, but man, you just knew the Yankees were holding their breath trying to sneak Duvall against one more hitter. And whenever that happens, you know it doesn't end up good.
2-2, and if Salvi reaches, the Royals will have another left-hand batter coming up, but the Yankees are prepared for that. Tim Hill is warmed up. He's just standing and waiting for a call. Salvi fouls it away.
Timmy might be a little frustrated, honestly, that he's not setting this inning up in the 8th. He has been really, really good for the Yankees. He's probably been their best reliever. I know David Bednar is typically the closer, but I was really interested to see how they would close this one out if lefties came up with Bednar and Tim Hill available.
Salvi gets it by the mound, and Chisholm throws him out. Vinny Pasquantino with 2 outs in the 8th inning. It's his 2nd home run and ties the game at 2. 2-0 after Ben Rice's home run in the 4th. And now Vinny has an RBI ground out and a solo home run, and Alex Lang, coming off an impressive outing against his former team yesterday afternoon, will get Bellinger, Stanton, and Rice. Impressive in that it wasn't a clean inning, but he showed, with all that experience as a late inning reliever in high leverage situations, Tigers had runners at 1st and 3rd and nobody out, and he got out of it with 2 strikeouts and a fly out, and that was something we were going to spend some time talking about had the Royals hung on for the win. And now he comes on in a 2-2 tie in the 8th inning. Bellinger grounds it to Vinny. Race to the base. 1 away, and Bellinger is 1 for 4.
Yeah, Lang sure did create some pep in his step for the Royals dugout in that Detroit outing. He was fired up to get out of that inning, and the Royals really answered and bounced back after that. And here he is in a big spot in the Bronx.
Giancarlo Stanton was 0 for 3 against Michael Wacha with 2 strikeouts. Fastball is inside. Michael Wacha gave up 2 runs over 6 innings. Eli Morgan was able to navigate around a couple of walks for a scoreless 7th. Strike. 1-1.
Looks good coming out of Lang's hand. Good velocity, 95 on the fastball. To righties, it really, really runs in on the hands. He's got the slider to combat it as well, east-west.
Foul. That got a piece of Salvi's shoulder, and Charlie Ramos' mask.
Little knuckle curve there from Lang. Usually see it to the lefties, but busting it out to the righties. Big Giancarlo Stanton as well. Ouch. Between those ABS challenges and that, he don't deserve that. Home plate umpire.
Fastball struck him out. 2 down.
There it is again. Some high chi, extra chi. 96 miles an hour at the top of the zone. Alex Lamb has been really, really good in the velocity as well. And he is feeling himself. That is a nice pitch, quality, heavy velocity at the top.
That'll bring up Ben Rice with 2 down. He jumped on a Michael Wacha changeup and hit a 2-run home run in the 4th inning. And that was the first hit anyone has gotten off of Michael Wacha's changeup this year. One and one. The Royals have some left-hand batters coming up in the top of the 9th inning. Tim Hill is warmed up and ready to go. Now David Bednar has just started to warm up. One and two.
That's the pitch for the left-handers. Alex Lang featuring a really, really nice changeup. Good action on that pitch. Still can get it up to 89, 90, but the action.
That one fades outside. Line base hit, and he got a changeup. Another changeup down. That's 2 hits for Rice on a changeup tonight.
Yeah, nothing hurt. Ben Rice, some kind of locked in right now. This long season, you really got to play the trends, and Ben Rice is feeling good. That is a quality pitch. I don't think you can make a better pitch than that. That's how good he's going right now. But again, it's okay. The Yankees tried to make a defensive switch. So we're going to get Ryan McMahon here.
He came on defensively for Rosario last half inning. This is his first at bat. And he's off to a very slow start. After struggling last year with the Rockies, the Yankees traded for him. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, and again, that's why you got to pay attention to the trends. Who's hot, who's cold. Ben Rice, quality pitch, single, that's okay. We'll take this matchup on.
Backhanded stop by Salvi to keep Ben Rice out of scoring position.
It's the benefit of having Salvador back there. You can throw this changeup confidently and not worrying about it being in the dirt, getting it away. Just some glove work right there. Backhand, Salvador making it look too easy. Can probably do that in his sleep.
In the air to left field. Marte gets turned around. He's in the corner, and Ryan McMahon, 5 for 42 on the year, goes to the opposite field for a 2-run home run.
Man, I tell you what, that's got to feel good for Ryan McMahon. He's been going through it, but I did not think this ball was going to go. I think the wind here in the Bronx is doing some tricky things. We see it kind of going, drifting towards left field. Marte just kept drifting, drifting, drifting. Before you know it, barely got out.
With 2 outs and nobody on. We were just talking about this yesterday. How many critical runs have the Royals given up this year with 2 outs? Chisholm hits it into the crowd, and Ryan McMahon, and nobody is safe here. Even players like Derek Jeter, anybody can get booed here if you're not producing, but he was really hearing for it.
Yeah, Michael Kay was even saying they booed number 99 at some point during this season. So you're right, anybody. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, Ryan. You go to look at the flag poles out there and left. Right after the home run, you just see the flags drifting towards left field. Wind doing all type of crazy things. It seems like the flags are going every which way.
And Chisholm strikes out to end the inning. But with 2 outs and nobody on, Ben Rice singles, and Ryan McMahon holds on a 2-out, 2-run home run by Ryan McMahon.
This ball had some hang time. Hit it at 103, but you just kept sawing Marte drift, drift, drift. We mentioned again the wind may have affected it. It just snuck out of here.
Well, here's the problems with 2 outs this year for the Royals. Almost a 6.9 ERA, 41 runs allowed. And what makes it even more painful tonight is that the Royals had just tied the game in the top of the 8th with a home run, and this rally started with 2 outs and nobody on base. David Bednar is 5 for 6 in save opportunities. So it was going to be Tim Hill if the game was tied, but Bednar is warming up just in case they took the lead, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, David Bednar trying to get back on track.
3-0.
Gotta have base runners here. Carter knows that. 3-0. Highly doubt he's swinging in this situation. And again, Ryan, it's weird feeling after weird feeling. It truly felt that the Royals had the momentum, and we're going to get out of that inning and see what happened on the offensive side. And all of a sudden, ball just kept drifting and drifting. First, second row homer.
Leadoff walk, and that's Jensen's second leadoff walk tonight.
Yeah, David Bednar, the bus is what they call him. He's frustrated with himself because that is the last thing you want to do as a closer, especially when your team takes the lead, to go ahead and walk the leadoff hitter.
Lane Thomas singled his last time up. That's backing out of play. And when Thomas singled in the 7th inning, that was after Jensen's walk, and the Royals had 2 on with nobody out. And they'd love a do-over because they did not score a run in that inning. Brent Hedrick, tall lefty, came out of the bullpen and retired the next 3. That bends in for a strike, and it's 0-2.
Yankees are sticking with the same defensive alignment too, leaving that right side of the infield open. Jazz playing more towards the middle, playing lane to pool.
One ball, 2 strikes. So Haas was telling you this has not been an area of strength for the Yankees this year, their bullpen. As a team, they have 5 saves, but they have 4 blown saves.
And that's what really made this decision interesting. Tim Hill has been their best guy by far. So when we saw double barrels in the Yankees bullpen, didn't know who would be up for the save situation.
Jammed, and Chisholm is going to make the catch.
Jazz was peeking at Lane. Good job, awareness from Lane to run it out there. I don't know if Jazz was thinking about dropping this on purpose. Would have been a risky play, but Lane didn't allow him to do that by getting out of the box.
This would be a great time for home run number 1.
Great time.
And he doesn't have to hit it very far. Backdoor breaking ball is in for a strike. Caglianone's base hit tonight was a line drive to left. Oh, 0-2.
Bednar's tough, especially for the first time. He likes that curveball 0-0 to steal a strike, maybe 2-0, and then it's fastball splitter north-south after that. That was a good splitter 0-1 to Jack, and his fastball plays at the top of the zone as well.
Laid off that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bednar got him.
Steady dose of off speed. First pitch curveball again. Bednar likes to steal it with strike 1, and then splitter, splitter, splitter. It's usually a north-south mix, deciding just to go south with Big Jack Caglianone, as he knows he can hit a fastball. Here comes another one. Curveball, splitter, splitter, splitter.
Jonathan India takes ball 1. Last year, the Royals were swept here very early in the season, right about this time of year. Swept in a 3-game series. And in all 3 games, they held the Yankees to 4 runs. One ball, 1 strike. And tonight, as frustrating as that Ryan McMahon home run was last half inning, they've held the Yankees to 4 runs in this ballpark.
You always hear weird things happen here at Yankee Stadium, especially in the Bronx. And it feels like all the time that first row, second row, weird bounces decide a game.
In the division series 2 years ago, the Yankees won that 3-1. And in the Yankees' 3 wins, they outscored the Royals by 4. So they played them tough. They haven't won many series over the years, but in the last couple of years, they played them tight. But they're down by 2, down to their last strike. And the Yankees take game 1. Ben Rice on a changeup against Michael Wacha in the 4th, hit a 2-run home run. And Ryan McMahon, who was 5 for 42 on the year, on a changeup, hit a 2-run home run against Lang in the 8th.
Yeah, supposed to come in for defense as well. Royals did a good job battling back, and then it came to McMahon, and he was able to get the ball in the air, hit it well at 103 miles an hour, but wind helped him out a little bit. Still made solid contact. Ball just snuck out of here. And again, the Bronx here in the Yankee Stadium, weird things just continued to happen.
The Royals have lost 5 in a row. The previous 4 were by 1 run. Each of the 4 losses by 1 run. Tonight, it's by just 2.